What's up, guys? Jay Zhang here with you with Against the Grain and Zhang Nation. There is a lot to talk about. A lot of random stuff, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of sports, a lot of whatever. I'm going to throw in edits of a silly Roblox game in here called Steal a Brain Rot, where I got my butt whooped. I went to pick a fight at random with someone for absolutely no reason. And I guess I picked a fight with the wrong one because they whooped me. I grabbed my baseball bat. I had my base protected, and I left the base, and I went up to him, and as soon as I went to go hit him, one, I swung and missed. Two, he started whooping me. Man, it was all bad. You got to watch it here in a minute. I'm also going to do a song review. My son, Carlos, he's doing nothing but pumping out music left and right, song after song. And he's thrown some stuff up there like spaghetti at a wall. And some of it's stuck, which means it's done. And some of the stuff that he's done has been pretty good, particularly one called Leviticus, in which he collabed with a guy named Perfidy. And I'll stitch the review into this podcast so you can hear the song and hear my take on it, and check that out also. But I just wiped out a social psychology course. There was a whole lot discussed in that course. I mean, it was insane. But I learned a few things. I learned a few, particularly about aggression and Bandura's social learning theory. Albert Bandura is the one who came up with the social learning theory. He had the Bobo doll experiment. I'm not sure how many of you out there know what I'm talking about. A Bobo doll is like Bobo the Clown. And it's a big, tall plastic doll, and it wobbles like a giant bobblehead. And you knock it over, and it goes whoop, and then it comes right back up. Whoop, and you can hit it, boop, whoop, and it comes right back up. He did an experiment with those. He had a couple rooms set up to where one room, there were some parents playing with the Bobo dolls lovingly, gentle, smiling at it, giving it attention. That was with their kids in the room. Then in a different room, there were parents that were sitting the Bobo dolls up, punching them, knocking them down, growling at them. Some would even cuss at them. And then a third room where the kids were taken without the parents, and they were set in the room with Bobo dolls. And the ones who had the nurturing parents that loved the big clown doll, the kids would respond in kind and go love on the Bobo doll. But the ones with the aggressive, angry parents that were beating the crap out of the Bobo doll, those kids that observed that behavior would go respond in kind as well and beat the tar out of the clown. So that's part of observational learning, part of Bandura's social learning theory. Anyway, learned a little bit about that, and a little bit about aggression and observed rewards and direct rewards. Learned a little bit about the MAOA gene. It's a long and short form gene that can play into aggression and how much aggression you have. Learned that sometimes you can tell how aggressive a person is by the shape of their face. Do they have a not wider, fatter shape, but a thinner and taller shaped face? That could be conducive of potential for aggression. That's crazy. Learned about Leonard Berkowitz's cognitive neo-associationistic account of aggression. We have 3 A's. You have an aversive event, e.g. pain, followed by anger, which is a perceived injustice against yourself. And then the third A of it is aggression, a physical attack or emotional harm that you cause on someone. There's a lower order of aggression where you have aggressive tendencies or ideations and some fear. Then you have a higher order where you're more irritated or annoyed, or you have major fear or anxiety or anger. And anxiety and fear all play into aggression if those feelings are not handled properly. Also learned that testosterone is related to aggression. testosterone can increase the amount of aggression. Aggression also reciprocates and increases testosterone. So the relationship, therefore, is bilateral. But testosterone doesn't necessarily mean aggression. Same thing with the MAOA gene. It's said that that gene, you can't use that itself to predict violence. Men that have been abused in childhood also linked to higher levels of aggression. There was a study where 12% of the people that were abused as a child were connected to over 40% of the crime and violent behavior in a prison study done once. So a lot of that was talked about. And now I'm moving on to a little bit of biology, a little bit of molecular biology, a little bit of ethics, and developmental psychology, which I will throw the 10 key concepts of developmental psychology right out here for you. The 10 key concepts: nature versus nurture, the critical period, for example, of language acquisition, because you actually need to teach language a certain way to children. You start off with your vowels, and then your, one syllable words, dad, or dada, baba, and things go on, and then you get your phonemes, your ch, ch, th, th, f, d, d, the, as you go on, and it has to be taught in that procession. It's weird, but you have to do that. Anyway, there's also the attachment theory, parent and child. That's very important. Cognitive development. The ZDP, or the zone of proximal development, where there's certain zones and time frames in which you need to hit certain levels, or else you have kind of like a failure to thrive, if you will, in that region psychologically. You have SLT again, that's social learning theory. Just talked a little bit about Bandura in that. Moral development, resilience. The amount of resilience that children have is amazing, which is very good because, I'm learning as I go. And I've gotten angry, not like violent, but, my words. I've yelled. They've been in the back seat of the car. There's traffic, and I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. If they can see that. That's that observational learning that I was just talking about a moment ago. And that can be bad for them. I'm not trying to have that life anymore. I'm trying to teach them I'm trying to have them relearn some of the old stuff. And that's thanks to stuff like this that I'm doing, like psychology. But kids are really resilient, so they can unlearn that at a young age. I just have to keep at it. Under my tongue, I can, if traffic's making me angry, but I don't have to vocalize it to where they can see. And then, of course, developmental milestones. So there's that. That's some of the stuff going on in the world of psychology that I wanted to talk about. A cool thing in biology, I made a little drawing here. I'll show you. I work out a lot. I'm burning fat. Fat's burnt through energy. But here's, at the cellular level, a few different fat cells. Ooh, that one's cholesterol. No. A triglyceride. You have the cell where you have the nucleus and everything in here. Then you have the little tail, the protein tail, and then there's energy down here at the ends of them tails. A phospholipid looks just like a triglyceride, except it has two, thus the tri. Fat or lipase is broke down into fatty acid or glycerol through a process called lipolysis. So that's pretty cool stuff. And I really should be working out right now instead of podcasting, but I haven't podcasted in forever. So in the midst of this podcast, talking about burning fat and all that other good stuff, why don't we get the old fit ring on and do a little set of workout stuff together? Why don't we do that? Let's get it. It's a budget thing here, but it's very good. Let's do a squat. Get them glutes and thighs worked out in the squat while we do this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, feel the burn. And this will help the core a little bit. Turn the fit ring off in a second and get back to podcasting. I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bearcats for a moment. But I'm at least going to get a few hard points going with the ring. And this little exercise, good for your arms, good for your core. Believe it or not, good for your glutes also. Glutes. Gluteus maximus. I want a gluteus minimus, which is why I work out a lot these days. Almost done here. And then we'll segue into the Bearcats. All right. Cincinnati Bearcats. Let's talk about that for a second. First and foremost, their football team just got smashed by 31 points to Iowa. Terrible. It was tough, but it was in Salt Lake City in a very hostile environment, way up in the mountains where, yeah, you know, Cincinnati's kind of at the foothills of the Appalachians or whatever, but nothing like those mountains out there. So the elevation, that oxygen, it got to their lungs. They weren't practiced enough, jet lag, and just a crazy home environment and all kinds of reasons, and just lack of experience. Utah's been blasting out games against some really tough competition. Cincinnati's only had a couple of them big-time games, and it showed, and they got cremated, and it was bad. But how about their basketball team? Now, of course, it's a gimme game. It's the first game of the year. It's a gimme game against WCU. Who even is that? Well, I know who that is. That's a baller. It's a big, tall dude, Baba Miller. Him and Sean Abayev got it done. Now, we'll see how that translates against tougher competition. We'll have a little bit tougher competition in about a week and a half. Not even that. Because the University of Dayton Flyers, a pretty decent team, they're coming down to Clifton to play. And I love Dayton a lot. I love Cincinnati a lot. It's one of my favorite games. It's a more friendly rivalry than Xavier. And Xavier gets under my skin, boy. But Dayton's more like a friendly rivalry. I still want Cincinnati to win. But we'll see how that goes. And with the WNBA season over, man, Indiana did such a great job, them Fever. Even without most of their leches, the Teresa leches, without Caitlin Clark, without Soph Cunningham. They had a great year. But anyway, NBA season's over for them, and we're in women's college basketball. I'm not sure who to really go for, man. A lot of the players I love have moved on, but I do like AZ Fudd and them, Sarah Strong. I do like those UConn Huskies still, like Gino. Man, they're like to see them do some stuff, but I also like UCLA. I love Gabriela Hawkes, Jaime Hawkes' little sister. Jaime, of course, the UCLA sharpshooter and baller who played for Coach Mick Cronin when they went to the Final Four. Well, now we have his little sister, Gabby, and she's awesome. She took UCLA along with with Betts, what's her name? The big dog, the big center for UCLA, took them to the Final Four last year. I'd like to see them do something. And of course, Kenny Brooks, coming from Virginia Tech a couple years back and starting at Kentucky. Oh, I followed Clara Strack and Georgia A. Moore and Kenny Brooks and them. Followed them to Kentucky myself, and I love the UK women's team. So I guess those are the three teams I'm going to go for, and I'm a big-time Indiana person anyway. So we'll go with the Lady Hoosiers. I got to look into what all they got going on in the Big Ten. Not sure. But hats off to their football team, Indiana football. Man, number 2 in the nation. Wow. Go Hoosiers. Throw it down. All right, we got Carlos Zagatti featuring Perfidy with this Leviticus. I've been asked to do a review on this song, do a listen, see what we think about it. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go.
Dirty. So many things I've seen and it caused my pain. So many visions I never pursued, so much turned to a dream. Now I'm losing sleep. So many times that I turn to a fiend, let that be the theme. Looking down with beams, I know the scene when the dead scream. So many times that I probably should've never said things. I shouldn't have said things, but I've always said things. So I'm wondering what does it mean? I jumped up, stepped into a world, make me wanna blow mine. Top off this look, got some in my lungs, I cough like I live in a coal mine.
Like I live in a coal mine. I live out here in the coal fields. Good little analogy. Okay.
I'm constantly ridiculed, make me feel minuscule. Tell me now, why would I not hide? These pills was making my mind right. Backtrack, let me think in the hindsight.
Ooh, thinking of hindsight. Like that rings out. I love that. Oh, that is beautiful. So we got bars that can be spat out, and we got melody. So, okay.
As a miniature, run through the Leviticus, been getting closer to God. I feel like my purpose is being a prophet. By rapping, I'm doing my job.
The prophet, the rapping prophet, his lyrics are telling a story, and they are something that is to be foretold.
Never had a million eyes on us, but the few we have tendinitis. Spitting these sermons and venomous verses for people who feel like they're so divided. Yeah, I ain't a prophet who preaching the light. A leader of darkness, we're lost or invited. Purpose is carved in the pain, yeah. Through channels we label as vain. Faith never gave me the reason to breathe, but the music is something we always believed in. Even when no one was there in the crowd and the silence was heavy, the words wouldn't leave. But every confession I scream in the mic is a prayer for the broken who grieving and bleed. God never showed up, but look at us now. The God of my purpose, I'm planting the seed. 30 voices in my legion is small, but they echo my pain and they drink through it all. And chasing the fame or the lights when they fall, we just building the kingdom from bricks in the wall. You cover my dignity, bleed through infinity. Every word that I spit, energy, remedy. This is my ministry, rolling infinity. Music, my weapon, I will do with dignity.
I'm gonna say, like, this is my son rapping. That's Carlos, okay? But I don't know who this Perfidy is, but I love his voice. It's like almost like Busy Bone, and he's got bars too. So, just saying. Whoa, wait a minute. So at first, he was a prophet telling a story, and a story to be foretold and getting closer to God. Now in the second verse, this Perf character here is talking about prophet, except a different type of prophet, this type of prophet, and that's the type of stuff that's becoming his own God. Like Mammon has become his own God, which is much unlike the first verse. So a whole story is being told, and we're playing with words. This wordplay is like, is Eminem, Lil Wayne type of beauty, type of vision, type of, wow, okay.
If I can save a life, we can save a life. Why the hell wouldn't we try? You know our song always be dirty. It's 30 boy season, just come for a ride.
My brother's a miniature, rep the Leviticus, been getting closer to God. I was 17 when I chased my dreams and I spotted the love of my life. It's definitely not the mic, I promise you it's not a fit that's alright. This is the pretty girl, gave me a shot, told me to give it everything I got. Look, my brother's a miniature, still got him low. Been sober a minute, but still on a roll. Lately I feel like I'm losing my soul, but I am the hero, let nobody know. Put on a smile and go with the flow. Maybe one day I'ma hang from a rope. Losing myself, saving everyone else, I'm so damaged, I still got some hope.
got some hope. Hope. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Definitely check more of their stuff out. And thanks for watching. Take care.
I'm damaged, but still got some hope.
Alright, so there you go. I do like that song a lot. That's why I wanted to, because I put it on TikTok already. I put it on Facebook. I figured I'd throw it here in this podcast to lengthen the podcast and to get extra exposure to it, because that's a really good one. That's a jam. What else? We talked a little psychology, talked a little sports, did a music review. I could go ahead just to lengthen this. I could play this funny segment of the game that I was talking about in Roblox. I could do that real quick. Hell with it. Here you go. Have it. All right, we're gonna see here. We're just gonna check all of my brain rot stuff, my pizzaninis and my Tim cheeses and my Fucero Cappuccino Al Pacino, and then we're gonna go beat the crap out of somebody at random, just for shits and giggles, just for fun. Don't mind me, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just getting my bat out. I like to play baseball. Nothing to see here. God, here we go. Oh no, this is not good. I think I might have messed with the wrong one. What is this? What's he even doing? Maybe he won't be able to do that to me if I hide back here at the back of the base. Bully, even though I'm the one who started it for no reason at all. So there you go. Now I'm walking in place, kind of like treadmill walking. So I'm going to close this podcast. I'm going to do another one soon, and it's going to be a faith-based one. It's going to, in particular, talk about Mormonism and my take on evidence for the book being true. It's going to be a fun one. And the reason I want to do something faith-based is because recently it's come to my attention that there's a lot of power in the spoken word, and there's a lot of power in projecting positivity, positive emotions, positive words, projecting that out into the world. Prayers of thankfulness, meditations about gratitude. These are all key things that can improve your mental well-being, your state of mind, your life altogether. Not even to mention your relationship with your Creator. So I've been doing a lot of that. A lot of meditations on gratitude, a lot of thankfulness prayers. There's a lot to be thankful for. Hell, I've lost 50 pounds almost. It's 229 in May. 179 right now. That's 50 on the dot. I'm thankful for that. I went without a vehicle. I spent lots of money on vehicles that did not run and let me down and was broke, and was blessed with one recently that so far seems to be the answer. So I can get out there and make money again. Do my medical deliveries, my little Instacarts. So I'm grateful for that. And it's a beater, it's a hoopty. Boy, it runs, it drives, it stops, it starts, it has a radio, it has heat, and it's cold out because it's November. Thankful for that. Very thankful to get the kids out and go hang out with them on the road because they've missed that. So, the smallest things. Offering thanks for the smallest things. Because it's more, we're more abundant. We have an abundance. We have way more of an abundance of stuff than we think we do if we take a few steps back and think about it. And when I say we, I mean the majority of us. I'm not going to discount the vast amount of poverty out there. It's terrible. I can pray for that too. But anyway, I'll be doing a podcast on that very soon. It'll be fun, be controversial. If anybody listens to me, there might be some fun feedback. Tell me I'm a nut job, this and that. Can't wait. Thank you for listening. Gonna get into some shape. And y'all take care, stay safe, and God bless.